Welcome in, everyone, to another Heel Brothers podcast. We are back tonight with a UNC Minnesota preview. I think everything's looking pretty good on Twitter and YouTube. I know YouTube's looking good. I'm keeping an eye on Twitter. Everything looks good on Twitter. Does everything look good for you, Alan? You see that? Have you been looking?
Yeah, I have the stream pulled up on Twitter, but it's still just. Oh, there we go. We switched over. Oh, let me turn that
Sweet. All right.
Yeah, we're just a little
cool.
behind
Awesome.
versus live. So yeah.
Cool. That sounds good. All right. So I know we was having issues with Twitter last time we tried to do this. I think what was it, early last week or early this week?
Yeah,
It's early this week. We tried to do the App State stuff.
Sunday,
Dude, a lot has happened since Tacom, our Sunday night recap of the App State game. Let's see if we can run this down a little bit. We all know what happened with Mac Brown and his comments last week about the Tez Walker situation. Thursday, he gets denied everything. Dude, this week, the NCAA, who also stated that we don't speak on particular and specific incidents, came out and spoke on particular and specific incidents and called out the university. They said the North Carolina Tar Heel football coach, obviously that's Mac Brown, called him out, said that they were disturbed by comments that were made from the university and that they were garnering attention and threats upon their life. I'm kind of air quoting that, directed at them from other people.
Yeah.
Now, first things first, let's go ahead and clear the one thing out of the air. If, and I do say if, because it seems like there was a victim card kind of played here myself. That's just my opinion.
Could be.
If there were actual threats against these people and the families, the committee, that's unacceptable. That's uncalled for.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely uncalled for. We want to state that first and foremost. We will not, we don't tolerate it here. We wouldn't tolerate it in our comments section. It's that stuff ain't gonna fly. Doesn't matter where it is. You don't do that. Even if I understand you're mad at somebody, you can be mad at somebody. That's one thing. But the second you start and going and threatening that person, that's another. And they need, because now the names of those people that were on that committee were out. They're out now. Everybody knows who they are.
You can find them.
You can find them very easily. So, for them, they also have to understand, crap, these people know who I am now. It's not this committee that's anonymous.
Faceless and nameless. Yeah. Everybody said there was nameless and faceless. Well, they have names and they have faces now.
Yeah. And if you're doing that, stop that. That's ridiculous. And even Mac Brown spoke upon this today. He had a press conference today, which the comments came out. This was last night. I watched it. And I listened to it the second it came out because I saw a tweet from both Inside Carolina and Tar Heel Illustrated. And yes, we named them by names. We love those guys. A lot of information that we get actually comes from those guys. We appreciate everything that they do. Do great jobs. Go out there and subscribe to them. That's our plug for them for the night. But listening and seeing tweets from them come out said that, hey, Mac Brown wasn't supposed to have a press conference today. He's going to have a press conference today after practice. Now, Mac Brown, when he was in the post, or it was in that post-practice presser, if you will, stated that, I had a feeling y'all would ask me, but that wasn't what I came over here for. Now, Mac, I think we all know the reason you called a press conference or called a post-game or post-practice presser is, the questions want to be answered, and you're gonna be a mouthpiece, obviously. So, I mean, he is the best at this stuff, man. He's the best. He really is. And he honestly took a very diplomatic state. He wasn't very forward or sharp or, barbing right back. He basically stated the facts. He first off said, if you're doing the nonsense that is calling out and threatening these people, you need to stop that right now. He says, but at the same time, I'm not going to back down from standing up for my guy. He said, and I actually give credit to the NCAA in this regard in the fact that their president stepped up for that committee and said, hey, we don't accept this. He says, I applaud them for that. I'm going to do the same with my guy.
Yeah.
Applaud you for that, but I'm going to do the same for my guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know the Tez Walker situation has been in the news. This has been, I think this is going on 2 months now at this point. And there was also, I completely glossed over this, I don't know how, but there was also a what is it? A effective board of trustees. Thank you. So a board of trustees meeting, emergency board of trustees. Yeah, I had an issue there. An emergency board of trustees meeting that happened, and they stated that I got to watch they were on air and live for like a minute and a half, and they took over. They knocked all that stuff out. They're basically going in for Tez Walker, trying to figure out what's going on with him. So all that happened, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
And Alan, if you need to step away, you're fine. You're cool. I got you.
Okay. I didn't know if you've seen it. Yeah. I gotta go handle the 4-year-old. I'll be right back.
I got you. No, it's okay. Daddy duties. It's all right. No problem. But, you know, I don't know what all is. Let me mute him. Let me make sure he's muted. That way he can handle that. There we go. I'll unmute him when he comes back. But we're doing this stuff live for you guys. We love it. We actually love the live streams. The live streams have been really fun. Want to see more of you guys come out for those as well. But the Tez Walker situation, I honestly think, is all but done at this point in time. Obviously, I really don't believe there's anything that the college can truly do. I know they're trying to explore options for the kid. And honestly, I really hope there is a way that somehow, some way, and he is still listed on the depth chart, that he's able to come back and play this season. Do I believe it'll happen? No, honestly, at this point in time. Really, after I found out that the NCAA had denied him, I think, up to 8 times before last Thursday, I kind of just put in my head personally, like, yeah, this isn't going to happen. This is going to happen all this year. We can try and hope and pray that it gets taken care of, but honestly, I don't believe that it will. So with that being said, the football team moves on. They have to. Unfortunate. I hate this. I do hope they are able to honor Tez Walker in some way throughout the season. If something legally was to come up and he was able to play football this year, that would be amazing. Honestly, I do believe that if Tez Walker plays for this team somehow, some way this season, he's not playing this week, but if that's able to happen, oh my God, this team could be seriously something. Yeah, that would be a serious weapon. And honestly, I could see them going, maybe not quite undefeated, but I would put a higher chance on it if that was able to happen. We are rejoined again by Mr. Allen. Welcome back.
Hey.
But team moves on. Any final thoughts on Tez before we move on to Minnesota?
Nah. I mean, we'll see what the board of I think the board of trustees meeting's been super secret. Some have said it's just for like I speculated with me and you was talking off air the other day or on the phone one day. What if it was just what do you call it, like a bluff or just a show
like a
to
front.
see if see if somebody else higher up in NCAA decided to make a change. Maybe you covered, maybe you didn't, but apparently the board that the committee that decided to deny Tez wasn't even the mental health committee from the NCAA. So there is that point.
Yeah, I actually didn't even cover that point. There's so many facts that's going on with this stuff right now.
And I don't think that came out until either today or yesterday. I think yesterday is when I read about it.
Yeah, basically and even in the quote that the NCAA put out last night, they stated that, oh, we know more than you.
Yeah,
we know our team of doctors know better than the team of doctors that have talked to Tez and know the situation. And
but that's the thing. The NCAA's team of doctors hasn't even spoken to Tez.
Nobody would. And I think that's really lousy on the NCAA's part, that you're going to make a ruling over this kid's life, and you don't even have the gumption to tell the kid. You have to send his coach, to go tell them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just something. Anyway, that's just me. Like I said, unfortunately, hopefully something can happen. Hopefully something can happen. Maybe there's some sort of legal action that we don't know yet that can somehow spring up out of nowhere. That'll be taken foot. And maybe at that point in time, they can go ahead and go through with something. And maybe this kid can play this year. I really do hope that's the case. But the team moves on this week to this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. I am looking forward to it, dude. I'm going to be in the house. I'm going to be in the house for this one.
Yeah.
And Minnesota.
Week, so we'll have covered, we'll have somebody in the house for the first 3 games.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try and vlog as much as I can. Again, I'll preface the comments by saying that I've got 2 people going with me. One of them is my girlfriend. She already knows that I'll do the vlog. She was there for the Charlotte vlog, so she's used to that. But I have a coworker of ours, a good friend. He's going with me for the first time. He's actually a Clemson fan. We made a bet or made a deal last year. Hey, I'll take Clemson over South Carolina in this state.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
But we made a deal that, I would go to Death Valley with him if he came to Chapel Hill with me. Well, we picked each other's. Thankfully, UNC goes to Clemson this year, so that just made it easy for me. But we originally picked, he originally picked the Virginia game, and then I kind of was thinking, that game might not be too good. Like, as in, my opinion, I think UNC could probably just sweep that up out of there. That's just my opinion. Now Virginia's look kind of solid at times. We'll see. But
we did go into double overtime with Appalachian State.
Well, yeah. But I wanted him to see a good game, and this game looks like it's sure enough going to live up to it. Big Ten team coming out went 9-4 last year in the Big Ten. That's awesome. They're a team that, to me, they're like App State. They're just like App State. Very similar. Stout defense.
Set 190 pounds up front. They're like 200 pounds up front.
Yeah,
not 200 pounds, 300 pounds up front. I think their offensive and defensive line average about 200, 290, 300, somewhere in that range. 5'7", 5'8". They're big boys. They're big fellas.
They're huge.
Hey, guess what? We get to return the favor next year by going to Minnesota.
Yeah. Curious to see how that would go. But
it's in September, so it's not supposed to be cold. We want to make a road trip? Minnesota.
Can we hit the Great Mall of America or something up there?
Sure.
And it's up there, right? I'd actually like to go see that. That'd be pretty cool.
I thought that was in St. Louis. Is that not in St. Louis?
No,
that's the gateway. That's that arch.
Yeah. I'm a big St. Louis fan, man. St. Louis Rams, man, back in the day.
Yeah.
Minnesota. Actually wearing that. I was wearing that jersey on a Fortorium Nathan last week. We're actually going live tomorrow morning, too.
Oh, nice. I won't be awake.
Yeah. I know. Believe me, I know. But Big Ten teams coming in, they're going to be physical. Their defense is putting up amazing numbers. Granted, they've played Nebraska, the new look Nebraska with Matt Rule, who just got blown out by Colorado as well, and also Eastern Michigan. Now, in the Eastern Michigan game, and you got to love Mac Brown. Mac Brown can seriously hype up any team.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember last year, Virginia Tech was coming into town. The way he talked about it on the press conference, he talked about it like they were amazing. North Carolina ended up winning that game 41-10. They didn't win a game like that all year. So, I mean, Mac's going to do his due diligence, and he's going to hype everybody up. Love the guy. I love watching him do what he does. He's just amazing. But they're going to line the football up, and they're going to try and run it down your throat. I was listening to the PJ Fleck show today. Now, they had one of their wide receivers on there. Corey, I can't remember his last name. Maybe Corey Cruz or something.
I had their roster pulled up a little while ago, taking a little peeky peek.
Number 4.
Crooms, Corey Crooms.
Crooms, that's right.
10 catches, 108 yards on the season.
He's got, he was a transfer this year, I believe. Yeah, he transferred in this year. And they're talking about how competitive that room is, that wide receiver room. They evidently have some talent at wide receiver, but really didn't flash it against Nebraska. Me and you was talking just before we went on air. In the first game, they only ran the ball once.
Well, no. No. Darius Taylor.
Yeah, their
Darius
main running back.
Taylor only ran the ball once against Nebraska for 3 yards, but he ran the ball 33 times against Michigan for 33 times at 193. The guy that got the lion's share or all the carries but one against Nebraska was Sean Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 27 carries for 134 yards for the season so far. He ran the ball 10 times against Nebraska and 17 times against Eastern Michigan. But I mean, I don't know. It's Minnesota. I watched the first game against Nebraska. I texted you immediately and said, if this is the Minnesota team, they're going to have to score a lot more points than what if they can't do no better than that against Nebraska. This should be a pretty much you say a walk in the park. I mean, they was losing to Nebraska until the final drive of the game.
Yeah. And they won the game off of that amazing toe drag. That wide receiver, I think is number 9. I think it is. But at Minnesota is coming in without 2 star players for them. One's a wide receiver, and one of them is their starting linebacker, which is going to help. Their defense has been proven to be pretty deadly. Yeah, so far against the competition that they faced, and you can only judge them just like you can only judge North Carolina off the competition that they faced. They're putting up great numbers. So
you're like this because you're a St. Louis fan. It said it's not like the Minnesota defenses went up against Kurt Warner, Torrey Holt, and Marshall Falk out there.
Yeah. I heard that, and I loved. I think it was Adam. What's his last name? Golly,
I can't remember. But yeah, you're probably right. For some reason, I thought it was Buck. I could be wrong.
No, I haven't saw Buck on anything recently.
I thought
about hopping on the noon dish as the Hill brothers and commenting.
Oh, I thought about that, but I completely missed it. I completely missed the noon dish.
Oh, I actually listened. I happened to take my lunch break at that perfect time. I listened to the whole thing.
Oh, no,
by the way, we're the Hill brothers. We got our own thing right now. We didn't about us. I told you we're done with our shout outs for the day. Daggum it.
No free ads.
No free ads, even though we can't even follow our own daggum rules around here. Anyway, tell me what you think about this game. There you go.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on which North Carolina defense shows up, I guess. North Carolina's offense has been extremely balanced. So if we can't get you one way, I'm pretty confident we can get you in another. So I think the key to this game is how often can UNC's defense get Minnesota off the field on third down?
Yeah, that's pivotal. Third downs are pivotal because they're going to try and nickel and dime you to the first down. 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3 down.
It's a bigger App State team, maybe not same game, like scheme wise running the ball, but they're going to try to run the ball. That guy ran. Right. I think they ran 33, 17. Was that 50 times? They ran the ball at least 50 times against Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. And I have a feeling they're going to – now, I honestly do believe that maybe even to start the game, they might hit you with the play-action pass because I do think that they're going to test the corners again because last week the corners kind of played off a little bit of slack. The emphasis this week has been let's get tighter. They played good coverage, but just need to get a little tighter and get up in somebody's grill.
But I was watching some YouTube videos of some breakdowns of some of the conversions on third down, this, that, and the other. The outside corners, for the most part, the outside corners were within 3 or 4 yards of the line of scrimmage for the majority of the game. Mm-hmm. They was just in that press. They was in the press, but they just bailed.
Yeah,
and it really wasn't the third downs really wasn't in the corners, it really wasn't where they were targeting. It was the slots. Now, the slots were playing a little further off, but that's because the safeties were coming down in the run fit. So the safety's playing a little further off in a back pedal because their slot is really fast. So you don't want to get blown by. Well, you either get blown by or you give up something in front of it. And, give up in front of you and make the catch, I guess, or make the tackle, which North Carolina did. So, I don't know. You just got to disguise your looks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think they've been
maybe not
big emphasis of that.
I think the breakdowns are talking about, if you're going to bail, don't bail as far. If you're playing 5 yards off, bail 2 yards, and that way, if it's an 8-yard route, then you can break on the ball, or you can break on the receiver and be there on time instead of a couple steps late.
Yeah, I quite frankly have enjoyed the play from our corners, and the Tayon, Marcus Allen for sure, Elijah Hussey, that just speaks for himself, but really Marcus and Tayon. And when we did our top 5 players that we thought was going to make an impact for the UNC season or break out, the first, one of my top, I think it was my number 3, was Marcus Allen. I really believed in the kid, and so far he's not really proved me wrong at all. Tayon's been in some really good spots. He's just had some pretty awesome catches caught over him, and that's something you got to learn. The kid's a redshirt freshman. He got to play 1 game last year. That's it, and he's played really well. They are, man. They really are. Absolutely, dude. And I love seeing our corners play the way that they are. But at the same time, defensive line's got to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
they got to get there. Des Evans has been playing great.
If the quarterback gets it out in less than a second and a half, makes it real tough. You got to disguise your coverages. Hope the quarterback holds on to it. A beat and a half longer.
Yeah, because I think they're going to try throw some screens. They're going to try and throw a couple of screens. Those quick, just boom here, dish down. UNC is going to expect a pass. Here comes their running back running right up the gut. They're going to try and hit you with everything they can and get you on your feet and get you on your heels, no pun intended, and dictate their way down the field, controlling the clock, just like App State did. App State did a great job of that. I don't really think they were worried about controlling the clock. More or less, they were just wanting to get down the field and score, get down the field and score, get down on the field and score. But Minnesota's a Big Ten team. They don't care. They really don't care about scoring out there in the Big Ten like that. They'll just pound you as long as they can, score when they have to, get down the field, score, and then just work you down and make it hard on you. And they're going to keep the ball out of your hands. So Minnesota's going to do. They're going to keep the ball out of your hands. That's exactly what they did against Eastern Michigan. I think Eastern Michigan got 2 possessions or 3 possessions in the second half of the game.
Didn't get a first down, But I mean, that's what Minnesota's going to want to do. It's the same thing I wanted to do. They ran the ball to play keep away from Drake. Minnesota's going to run the ball to play. I mean, if they run the ball 50 times against Eastern Michigan, they're probably going to run the ball 40 to 50 times against North Carolina. Yeah. They're not going to get away from who they are just because they're playing somebody different.
Right. And I think what they're really going to try and do, what UNC needs to try and do, I'll put it this way. This is the game we got to get over the top. This is the game we got to stretch them, hit them with because they're going to want to keep you as much as they possibly can. They're going to want to try and get you off the field as much as possible. They haven't been tested offensively yet.
This will be the I don't know what's going on. This will be the best defense that North Carolina's faced, and this will be the best offense that Minnesota's faced.
Right. So UNC's got to get over the top.
And the key on both sides of the ball is first down. You got to have you on first down on offense. You got to have a significant gain, 4 to 5 yards on first down. That opens up the entire playbook for second and third down. Then if the defense has success on first down, limiting Minnesota's offense on first down to 2 to 3 yards, put them in that 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, then that makes that makes that offense that more predictable. If they run the ball again and we stuff them for a yard or two, that puts them in, 6 to 7. So then third
And
down,
they're going to
6
pass the ball, more than
then,
likely.
then you can bring your edge rushers in, and then you try to get your sack, or you try to get an incompletion, or
go ahead,
so
finish what you got to say, and then I want to tag on to something you just said.
UNC's needs success on both sides of the ball on first down. Positive plays for the offense, negative plays on for the defense. And that's I think this is where this game's won on first down. Whoever has the best first down numbers will have the most success Saturday.
Oh no, I am 100% with you. As a matter of fact, you said something just a second ago. Getting in a favorable position in third down and bringing in your edge rushers. We got to see more Amari Gainer. Kamen Rucker played 80 snaps Saturday against Appalachian State, and Amari didn't play that many. I think it's time to get both Thunder and Light. And we saw it a lot during South Carolina. And a lot of times those guys were meeting up, high-fiving at the quarterback. That's what you brought Amari Gainer in for, is to get after that guy.
Yeah, but if you bring in Amari and leave Kamen, who you taking off? The only person you can take off at that point is Dez, and you put Kamen in Dez's spot, and then you put Amari in Kamen's, or no, you put Kamen in Dez's spot, and then Amari in Kamen's spot. But do you really want to do that? Because Dez has been pretty phenomenal so far these first 2 games.
He has, and it's made things. I guess you could. I'm not gonna say easier, but easier.
Yeah.
Like, we've known what Dez's reputation has become, and now it's changing big time. I don't know what's happened. Something got into this kid, and he ain't changed.
He said when he got hurt and he had to watch from the sidelines, it gave him a renewed passion for the game of football.
Oh,
because
and I believe that he's
not
showing
playing.
He was the defensive player of the game this past weekend, and
he had 7 tackles against Appalachian State. That's a lot for a hand in the dirt lineman.
Yeah, and not only that, but being got quarterback hurries, I believe, hit the quarterback a couple of times. Now, obviously, we didn't get any sacks, but he was right there on him.
Yeah, but he put his hand on him. He was talking to him. Him and Kamen Rucker both. They'd hit him and they talked to him because he's a brand new quarterback, never been in that atmosphere before. But again, Aguilar I thought played pretty well for his.
Oh, Aguilar! I think Aguilar potentially should take over the starting spot for Appalachian State. Personally, that's just my opinion. I think he could. I actually think that kid could play some ball for. Given we'll see how he goes through the rest of the year, but if he stays on that path, I think he could go definitely for a low-end Power 5, in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure Minnesota probably love to have him right about now, but
maybe I'm not too sure what their quarterback
who knows? Yeah. So far from what I've saw from the quarterback, and I don't even know how to say his name, but he looks shaky. I feel like we're about to play like a low-end Spencer Rattler. And I say that in the not nice way. Like, Spencer Rattler's a decent quarterback when he wants to be. We can put it that way. But when he's not and he's off, he's off. So I kind of feel like we're dealing with that again. This guy can be decent. Spencer Rattler can be good when he wants to be. But this guy can be decent. And he's basically like, Jimmy Garoppolo, a guy that you kind of have to game plan to win in spite of, but maybe can make you some plays in front from time to time. I mean, look at the whole San Francisco 49ers offense was dictated to run the ball, try to get the ball out of Jimmy G's hands as quick as possible. They were worried about him making a mistake in clutch times, and you couldn't really trust the ball in his hands to end the game. I'm seeing the same thing out of this guy in Minnesota. From the small sample size that I've saw, and granted it's small, so if you're a Minnesota fan, obviously you probably will have a much different opinion, and if that's the case, then great. Maybe he's a lot better than I thought so, and I'll find out Saturday when I get there. But I think that's why they're trying to lean so heavy on the run game, because you saw them try to lean heavy on the pass game in the first game. What happened? A miracle, amazing toe drag, and they barely won the game. Scored 13. Something ain't right there. Something ain't right. And Nebraska ain't all that good. Let's just call it what it is. Now, either Colorado's really good or Nebraska ain't that good, because Nebraska got shown out against Colorado, and then they barely won, or they barely lost against Minnesota. So,
well, I think their defensive line did pretty good against Colorado. It's just their back end couldn't hold up.
Yeah, and then Shadur and Travis and the running back they have, a couple of wide receivers, they just lighten them up, man. It's just awesome. Yeah. But what do you think UNC needs to do to win this game?
You got to say it's same thing. If you can stop the run, I don't think you're going to keep Minnesota from running. But if you can stop the run on a consistent basis, maybe make them pull the trigger on the pass more. You saw what North Carolina did to South Carolina. North Carolina completely stopped South Carolina's run game. So they said, well, if you're going to stop our run game, we're just going to throw it all the time. Well, you did throw it all the time. And yes, Spencer Ratt was 30 for 39 for 300 some odd yards. But he also got sacked 9 times and hurried and
scored 17.
Whatever. Yeah. So,
and if you can hold teams to 17, that's pretty good.
So you got to take your poison somewhere. 30 for 39, 300 yards, that's awesome. But you got sacked 9 times and you couldn't score. And you couldn't run the ball because North Carolina just refused to let you run the ball. I'm assuming
honestly,
North Carolina came in. Yeah. I'm assuming North Carolina came in the same game plan against Appalachian State, but North Carolina couldn't stop the run.
I don't know. So, to me, there was.
And I said it in the post game that the way they schemed it, their offensive line is slimmer and quicker. We're a little bit we're fast on the edge, but we got past a lot of times the edge rushers would go downhill and would be past the level of the quarterback, which means the edge rusher has been pushed behind the quarterback, and that either allowed the quarterback to step up and then make them little dump off passes, or that allowed the running back to squirt out through a hole. Mm-hmm. So the defensive line's got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be a little more disciplined in the run fit, and have sound gap play.
I think you sell out. I think you sell out to stop the run, and then dare the quarterback to beat you down the field. Say, all right, our corners have got your guys, and see how it goes. Honestly, I really I think it's literally just like that. You're not going to run on us, and you're going to have to pass it, and then you let them get to a point. If let's say you stop the run good enough on a consistent basis where it's like, crap, we just got to move the ball down the field. Then you can bring in Amari and Kamen and run those two suckers together, and then just let them meet up at the quarterback. I think you put enough pressure on it, you can let them meet up at the quarterback. Get a couple of sacks.
If you commit 7 or 8 to the run, you better bring him down because if he gets through the second level, that's a lot of grass. Lots of grass.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, if you're going to commit 6, 7, 8 players to the run, you better be real good at stopping and making tackles.
Yeah, and UNC's got a first physical 4 weeks. This is a big test. I honestly believe if UNC performs very well against this team, yes, Pitt that's a primetime game next Saturday. We know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They should be able to walk through that one. In
You would
my
hope so.
opinion. My opinion. Now, obviously, Pitt knows you better, a lot better. They play you every year,
Mm-hmm.
and you see how those games are. Last year, you was able to rock the baby on them, and you had a horrible defense. I don't
Yep.
personally believe they're that much better than they were last year. I don't think they were better than they were last year. My opinion. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's in part to some of their defensive scheme. They like to play one on one on the receivers, and you had Josh Downs and Antoine Green, and those are two pros right now. And then you had Drake May, and if you're not going to commit to helping your DBs on the two of the best wide receivers in the ACC, then it's going to spell for a long night. That defense just couldn't hold up on the back end.
Yeah, and
But when they did,
20.
they had that big old fella on that defensive line. Woo! He was a monster.
Yeah. But UNC's got a tough challenge this week. We kind of talked about it a little bit in the short that we did a couple of days ago, YouTube short. But with British being back, with Nate McCullum also being back, and we'll get to him in just a second.
Yep.
With British back, is it time for British to continue on as the starter, or is it officially time for Omarion to take over?
I guess we'll have to see what the depth chart looks like coming out of practice. But British Brooks is still going to get run. 100%, he's still going to get run. I mean, he ran.
Yeah.
I mean, he ran for 100 yards against South Carolina, and Omarion Hampton ran for 40-something yards against South Carolina. So his vision, I still think British Brooks' vision is just a little better than Omarion's. Omarion's is getting better. I mean, we saw it when he took that inside handoff and saw that it was clogged, busted it to the outside, and ran it down the sideline for 68 yards. So his defense, his vision is definitely getting better. I guess it depends. Really depends on how British is feeling. If that, I think it was something to do with his quad, I believe, a bruise on his quad or his hamstring, and it made his leg sore.
Yeah.
So, if he's 85, 95%, he's still going to go. But if he's not 100%, Omarion probably gets first crack at it. And then, British is behind him to spell him. Then, depending on how British does, then you got Caleb Hood behind him. Those are three mountain men that can all run you over and then run away from you. But luckily, Omarion Hampton just has that run and hide type speed. He's not getting run down from behind by many folks.
True.
So I guess it really
getting a lot better.
I think he runs a 4.40 at 200 some odd pounds. So, I mean, if he's not running you over in the hole, then he is running by you on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But I really believe that unless Omarion Hampton just absolutely mesmerizes, that, or unless British Brooks is just not capable of getting the job done, then British will be your number one. Then Omarion will be your number two. Because I think Matt, kind of like a little bit of Hubert Davis. Hubert Davis didn't bring in the senior grad transfers to sit on the bench. You know what I mean? He's going to respect the seniority, and as long as maybe less than Hubert Davis, as long as you're producing. Now, if British Brooks quits producing, like if British Brooks is having an off night, 100%, I see Omarion Hampton coming in and like, here, go get him. But just like vice versa, say British Brooks is getting it done and Omarion Hampton can't. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Caleb Hood come in to spell British Brooks. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, we have the bodies in the running back room.
Oh, yeah, the running back room, it's set, man. That running back room is amazing.
As long as British Brooks is healthy and is performing, it's his job to lose, just for the simple fact that he's been there. He's done it. He's seen it all. And then, next year it's British Brooks' room, and then next year it's Hampton's room and just hold on tight because it's going to be one heck of a round.
I honestly, I like that a lot. I think you could. There's definitely one way it could be looked at, but I think it's not going to be Mac Brown doing. I think it'll be British Brooks saying, "Hey, man, that dude right there is pretty legit." And I think what happens this week is Amarian Hampton comes out the starter. We will see, or he'll come out first. Let's put it that way. He'll come out first. He might be listed as an or in the depth chart. You know how they do that or. So I think he'll come out first, and we'll see how he plays. And more than likely, they'll probably try and rotate him in and out because PJ Fleck in the PJ Fleck show, the head coach for the Minnesota Gophers, Golden Gophers, whatever, he talked about how they talked about how they have Amarian Hampton. They didn't mention British Brooks at all. They said, "Oh, you got this big dude running. He's a big running back." So, they're going to sell out to make sure that he doesn't have another big night because right now, North Carolina's primary offense has been majority the run. Game one, a little bit different. It's more pass, but obvious. And then last game, you saw run 300 yards, some odd rushing. The team had 234 for 313, 234 for Amar and just himself. And so they're going to try and make sure they can take him out. So you're going to want to throw, just like you did at South Carolina, two different running backs. This is where Michael Carter, Javonte Williams, the duo became a thing. And I think you could begin to see this duo where maybe they're both kind of the starter. It's just who's going to come out first? Who's coming out and playing first? So I could see that happen. But I think actually Amarian comes out first. Gets played a couple of times. You'll see how he does. Pass blocking for sure is a big one. That's a huge one that they want to make because they want to protect Drake. Had 2 sacks against Appalachian State. Didn't have any against South Carolina. Had 2 against Appalachian State. They want to cut down on that. So whichever running back's also going to provide pass protection, that's the one I believe is going to get the bulk of the playing time because, hey, if you're throwing the ball, that guy in 10 has to be taken care of. He can't get hurt. 1, for the team. 2, for himself and his future. He cannot be injured. We don't know what we have in the backup QBs. We really don't. Connor Harrell would love you, but we don't know what we have in it yet. So we'll see. But I think that's 1 and 1A.
Yeah.
Who's 1 and who's 1A? I really don't know. Personally, I think it's Amarian right now.
Well, I believe that British's pass protection, blitz pickups is just slightly better than Hampton's, and that's the hardest thing for running backs. Yeah, it's experience, and it's the hardest thing for running backs to come in and learn is that blitz pickup. That late safety blitz off the edge or the delayed blitz up the middle from one of the inside linebackers. When they realize that, hey, the running back's not going out for a route, so that inside linebacker just breaks in and does a delayed blitz. You got to be able to pick those things up. Yeah. So, So I agree. Whoever is protecting Drake the most Saturday probably gets some, maybe not the majority of the run, but the majority of the playing for passing games.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Speaking of passing, Drake's weapons, he's getting one of them back 100% this week. Nate McCullum, one of the big ones. Tez Walker and Nate McCullum, the 2 big names that came in over the offseason. No Tez, but Nate is finally 100%. He says he's ready to rock. He's been practicing, and he only got 9 snaps, I believe, on Saturday. I think he got the ball once, and it was kind of on like a jet sweep.
Yeah, jet sweep.
And that was it.
8 or 9 yards.
Yeah. So, what do you think he's going to add? What do you think he's going to add to the team now that he's in there alongside JJ, Kobe, Gavin?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy.
I know
he's the 5th best. He was the 5th best wide receiver in the ACC last year playing for Georgia Tech. So he didn't have he didn't have Drake May throwing to him. So if he's got Drake May throwing to him, you think he's going to be better. But does he play? Does he take Pace's spot on the inside? Does he and Paysor goes to the outside, because I believe you got to have Paysor on the field because he's the only one that's consistently been getting separation.
Yeah.
When Nate and Tez haven't been on the field. But if you do that, then you're taking either JJ Jones or Gavin Blackwell off the field. You got to take one of them off unless you're playing 4 wide receivers. But then you got to just can Paysor play the outside, or does Nate? I know it was an ongoing joke between Nate and Tez that, one's not run. You're not. Nate's always saying, he was like, you might get me in a long run, but the 40, I think we're pretty close. So, can Nate be the one that plays the outside, being a little smaller and play the outside receiver and just go running high like Tez could? Or is Nate going to be that inside twitchy like a Josh Downs, but has the getaway speed to, break a tackle and go for it with Josh Downs? Not because he wasn't fast, but Josh Downs' yards after catch was just not that great. I mean, nothing against Josh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that was a knock on Josh Downs. After he caught the ball, he was kind of just, kind of like that Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. They kind of just went down.
Yeah. Well, the good news is it's actually starting for the Indianapolis Colts now. That's pretty cool.
I think he had three catches, 10 catches for 30 yards, maybe, or 3 catches for 30 yards. That sounds better. 3 catches for 30 yards is what I heard.
10 yards a catch. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I caught the very end of that game when Anthony Richardson got hurt, but I didn't know anything before, really. I was busy driving around everywhere. But honestly, I think Nate comes in to play the spot that he was brought in here for. That Josh Downs slot receiver. I do think Paysor goes to the outside, maybe even JJ. You want a guy that can get downfield. JJ's shown that he can get downfield some. We saw that. He had one for, what was it, a 50-yarder?
57,
yeah,
I believe. 53, 57. It's one. It was either 53 or 57.
Yeah, so
in the fourth quarter, we get us right back in the game.
Yeah, and can you trust JJ Jones out there? I believe you can. Honestly. Gavin, I could also see there was issues in the first game with catching the ball. I mean, 2 balls that was right there in front of him. He just didn't grab,
Yeah.
Issues, it happens. Don't know if it was the lights, what it was, but, he hasn't shown that issue since. Hopefully that continues. Hopefully that's just a one-off. But I don't like the idea that this wide receiver room has been talked about like, oh, my God, it's just there's not many weapons. The wide receiver room's bad. I'm thinking there was 2-3 games where Antoine Green and Josh Downs didn't play last year. One of them you scored 63. That's just that. Played well against Georgia State. They came in and played. Now, Josh finally got to play against Notre Dame, but all the reps couldn't have went to him. JJ Jones had a very good game against there. Kobe Paysor, flashed many times throughout the season last year. Many times throughout the season last year. Gavin Blackwell, he was trotting along. He was coming along. Young buck coming along.
Yeah.
So, yes, you lose Antoine and Josh. That sucks. We know that. You bring in Nate Tez. Obviously, Tez gets screwed. Nate's able to play now. I think we're going to see maybe even more of an emphasis on the passing attack, knowing the Gophers haven't saw passing yet. And now, truly, in my opinion, now we haven't saw it this year, but through years past, this is one of the best passing attacks in the nation. Not just the ACC, but the nation. Yeah. So I think you test them. You really test them and stretch them, because then if the Gophers are like, crap, man, they're killing us. They're getting 15 yards and they're getting at least 8, 9, 10 yards a catch. It's like, man, we need some more. They bombed us a couple of times. We got to start committing more. We got to take care of those guys. Then Amarian, British, a little Drake May, Drizzy Drake action where he gets out and slides and picks up 9, 10 yards.
Yeah.
On his own. It opens up a lot for the run game. It's time for Chip to show what this offense can really do. Take some chains off a little bit, maybe, and just kind of let them go. Now, whatever works. And if the run works again, like it did last week, hey, by God, run the ball. Just run the ball.
That was a big topic in the the Monday press conferences. What do you say to the people that are saying that Chip Lindsey is, costing Drake a chance at the Heisman? And it's pretty much self-explanatory. Drake doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. And
Drake wants to win.
Don't care.
Drake wants to win the football game.
Yeah.
Chip said that he called 8 plays, 8 passing plays that Drake checked out of to a running play. So that goes it. So I don't. You say take the chains off.
I like
but
that.
I don't think the chains are wrong. I think Drake is just doing what Drake thinks is best for the team. So if the passes are there,
right
but
there with you.
That's the great thing. We don't know what North Carolina's going to do with Nate McCullum. Minnesota has no clue what North Carolina is going to do with Nate McCullum because Nate McCullum, the only play Nate McCullum has run and has touched the football was a jet sweep. And he's not going to run jet sweeps the entire game. I promise you that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a surprise to everybody. You'll see everybody will get to have the Nate McCullum experience together. And that, in my opinion, that is advantage North Carolina.
I'm with you. I'm honestly with you. I personally, I don't think I use that break the chains off as a kind of like a thing towards all the people that's been saying that. Personally, I think they are just kind of whatever wins the game. Now, of course, we want to see Daggum Drake sling that ball, have 500 yards at the end of the game. But hey, if you lose the game, what was it really for? 500
yards is fun. 300, 400 yards. It's fun to watch that ball get slung around. But if you're not winning, you're not going to win the Heisman.
Yeah, and what you saw last year is when times were tough, the games that you lost, man, you wish you had a running game. Slinging the ball was great, but
you go 11-1, end up in the ACC championship against whoever. Say you win that game, guess what? Drake can still have, even if he didn't throw for almost 5,000 yards like he did last season, he's still going to have times where he's going to have his Heisman moments to where, look at that last minute drive that he drove all the way down the field at the end of App State, and we had a chance to kick a field goal to win the game. That's a Heisman. No, that was overtime. That's different. Yeah. I'm talking about the 1 minute drive that he ran in the fourth quarter to, get North Carolina in position to kick that field goal for the win. That's a Heisman moment. And that was after taking the sack on the very first play. It was 2nd and 16. So
yeah, and not only that, if they would have finished that out, that would have been brought up more than it is.
Drake. Yeah, but then you went and got the nice little left-handed layup Air Jordan, the Air Drake silhouette.
I really hope when I go to Chapel Hill this Saturday, there is an Air Drake shirt, because if there is, I'm buying 4 of them. I want one.
I'm gonna need one.
I got you. One. I can do that.
But yeah, so team success will equal, you get rewards, reap awards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So team success will benefit individual success. Individual success doesn't always lead to team success. We saw that last season.
Yeah, and I think right now you kind of see that with Caleb Williams in USC. Is he's able to flash, but how good is that team? How good is that team really? I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to it. Real quick, before we get out of here, I want to know real quick. I like this because jersey uniforms are awesome. They haven't revealed the uniforms what they're wearing this Saturday. What do you think they're going to wear from top to bottom?
I see. It was white, blue, white Saturday. I think it's going to be that helmet there, the blue pant, the blue and the white. It's going to be blue, blue, white. I believe this.
I'm going blue, blue, white, boo, boo, white, blue, white,
boo, boo, hey, boo, boo.
Hey, boo, boo. No, I'm going blue, blue, white as well. I think that's classic UNC home. I think they're going to rock it. They've already used the all blues. They've used white, blue, white. It's time. You're still at home this week. I think next week I think we might get a white, white, blue.
No. I'm thinking next week might be the perfect opportunity for the Stormtrooper.
I don't know.
Primetime game, 8:00 on the road. Perfect.
Well, I about to say since you're on the road, I could see
perfect
that.
Stormtrooper outfit.
I kind of want to see the
outside of maybe NC State.
Well, yeah.
The other perfect time to wear the Stormtrooper outfit.
What other night games do you have on the road? Clemson.
Well, we don't know what time that game is.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have a feeling that'll
FSU at 12.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising. Depending on how Clemson is, I'm going to assume that Clemson's going to be pretty solid, and that game will be at night. But I think next week maybe the white Navy.
That could be a possibility.
Yeah, I do believe we will see the Navy jerseys sometimes this year. Sometime this year, it's going to happen. I think you'll see white, Navy, white again.
I'm about to say, I mean, I'd say for the Duke game, but that's a home game. And
that would work.
But Duke's probably going to wear their dark blue, maybe even black. So those would just be two conundrums. So maybe white, Navy.
It'll be a home game, so they'll wear white jerseys.
Yeah, so maybe Duke, maybe Miami.
Yeah, Miami, especially if it's under the lights. I wouldn't mind seeing the all Navy come back. The Navy, like all three navies with the foot. I'd like to see that come back, or even do like use the blue chrome helmet again from last year, the chrome Navy and Navy. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty hot. But
don't know what their alternate is yet. You know, they got the all blues. You know, they got the white, blue, white. That white helmet's kind of underrated. That'd been a nice helmet. That'd be a nice helmet to have.
Yeah, I looked right when I went to the.
If you're listening, hook us up.
Who?
Battle Customs on Instagram.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. I haven't thought about them in a while.
Dude, Battle Customs. I don't know if they you know are paid for a service, or they just do it for fun and promotions. But
see, like when I go to Chapel Hill Saturday, I'm looking for the Tylee sticker and I want a Tez sticker.
I didn't see none of those.
Oh man, I hope they have them.
I got the Tylee bracelet though.
Yeah, I want to get me one of those. And I think I'm going to add another helmet to the collection for Mr. Butcher himself, Cayman Rucker. I think I'm going to add that one to the collection as well. When I went to Fanatics, the Cayman Rucker helmet.
Oh, the mini.
Yeah.
Off of his NIL thing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But when I went, with Fanatics at the beach, they actually had another one of these.
They had one. Oh, Alumni Hall, they had one of those.
The blue one or the camouflage? I also remember when they saw the camouflage one.
That was the blue one. I picked it up. Yeah, it was like $130, I think.
That'd be about right. I think I paid $150 for mine. I don't remember. It was something like that. It was up there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna hop out of here. We're gonna call it a night. It's been an hour long, man. We got an hour-long show in today. That's what I'm talking about.
Putting in the hours.
Yeah, if you're bored in the morning at 7:00 in the morning and you want to come watch some more sports talk, be sure to head over to 4Tory. I'm Nathan. We'll actually be on that channel.
4Tory, I'm Nathan, not 4Tory. Nathan.
Yeah. I was having issues you was having earlier.
I could quit yawning early. Holy smokes!
I know, man. It's a long day. But yeah, we'll be talking some Aaron Rodgers going down. That's so
unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm mad at that, man. Like I had the Jets as my sleeper Super Bowl team. I at least got the win right. I think right now Torrey's got me beat by 1 game. I was like, he was 10-7. He's 10-6. I'm
Did
9.
y'all factor in mine? Because I think I picked them all right.
No, you picked the Giants.
Oh, I did pick the Giants. I think that might have been my only loss.
He went 10-6. I went 9-7 out of the first week. So we'll continue going to see who gets the better record at the end of the season. We'll might have to do a little wager.
I think I might have picked the Panthers to beat the Falcons too.
I thought you picked the Falcons. I picked the Panthers. I was dumb.
Oh yeah, no. I definitely went with you. Yeah, no. Bryce Young looked god awful.
Yeah, he kind of looked like a deer in headlights. And Desmond Ritter looked fantastic.
It's his first game, but I don't know. CJ Stroud looks,
CJ Stroud got blown out by the Ravens.
Ain't none of my business either. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Who do the Panthers have this week? I'll have to check that. But
they played the Saints on Monday night.
Oh, God bless them. Back-to-back division games, and the Saints look decent, man. The Saints look pretty decent. I'll say decent, but they look decent.
Oh, yeah. Panthers could definitely be staring 0-2 in the division.
The Rams got the 49ers after blowing out the Seahawks. I might have to pick a little upset right there. I'd be willing to die. I can't pick the 49ers over the Rams. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's like picking Duke over North Carolina. I can't do it. Even if Duke might be the much better team.
No. McCaffrey looked pretty good.
Well, I mean, he's in a perfect system for him now. Like, he is in the perfect system for him. Ooh, Raiders and Bills. That'll be good. Ravens, Bengals, Chiefs, Jaguars. That's some good games.
Oh, yeah, they got Chris Jones back.
Yeah, they got him finally.
We'll see about Travis Kelce.
I'll definitely still pick. I think I'll pick the Jaguars over that.
Ooh, really?
Yes, Jaguars.
A little upset alert.
Dude, the spread's 3.5.
Where they playing? City. Jacksonville?
In Jacksonville, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess you. I mean, I don't know. Chris Jones is playing, bro. He's a monster off that end. I mean, he's like a little younger Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. Andrew Donald. God almighty.
AD 99. I almost bought me a Aaron Donald jersey this past week, dude. Almost did that.
When you put that no Huzzy or McCollum on the NIL jerseys, I had the Rucker one in the cart.
Oh, Amari Gaynor liked that tweet, didn't he?
No, I didn't know that.
Dude, I love Amari Gaynor. He's been all over my stuff, man. Love it, dude. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, we love you. Get him on the Hills. We need to get him on the Hills Brothers stuff. That's what we need.
Yeah, I need to add him. Just be, hey, dude, whenever you want to, just drop on by. Send me an email address. We'll get it hooked up.
Well, I mean, we'll do a little 5-minute interview.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't mind that a bit. To get freaking Amari Gaynor in here, that'd be awesome. Love Amari Gaynor. He's honestly probably my favorite portal guy that's come in. I like the dude. When he came on this team, I just got excited. And the second he showed up, I got excited. Dude, I was flipping. I was actually running your route when he signed and committed.
Oh, yeah.
I was flipping out, dude. I was like, oh yeah, let's go, Amari Gaynor. Yeah. I love that dude. Anyway, we got to get out of here, dude. We're gone. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. We will be back with some more content very, very soon. We got some conversations we got to have. Mostly, how does North Carolina fare against this ACC? This ACC, where Florida State's all of a sudden king again. Clemson is a team we don't know. We're going to find out very soon in the next couple of weeks. And Duke
next week, I think.
Yeah, not this week, but next week.
Next Saturday is the Florida State game.
12 o'clock, so we won't have to wait long. And Duke looks solid. Miami looks decent. So who knows, man? Who flipping knows? NC State looks bad. And Syracuse don't look half bad either.
Yeah,
look all right.
That could be an interesting game to try.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to get out of here.
October 7th.
Thank you. Yeah.
Tickets are still available.
It's one of the very few that are still available.
Yeah, that and Campbell. Miami sold out.
Yeah, but Campbell.
NC State and Duke sold out. Or no, Duke is sold out.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. Mr. Allen, I appreciate you as always.
Oh, yeah.
For the Hill Brothers, go Hills.
Go Hills.
Boom.